Well, I made a video, but I don't think that video is gonna upload. There were cars on the Connecticut. I forgot what bridge, but some bridge over the Connecticut River, and they were worried about cars getting blown off by it. I was just watching my TV. Water was getting sucked out of the Connecticut River, sucked out like extreme amounts of water being sucked out and into the storm and twirled around right over the bridge. And that is in West Springfield, Massachusetts. A place where tornadoes never happen. I've never seen one in my whole life in Massachusetts. Well, I've had tornado warnings that have hit places outside of Massachusetts, um, but that was just crazy. So I might show you some of the news.
Not as much as a big deal, but until this threat passes, we're going to be still on it for you. And it's going to continue to move over toward the east here. And it's fortunately just passing the Palmer area, but I want to stress, as we talk about this, Jen, that just took 5 minutes for it to go on one side of 32 to the other. So you're really only in the basement for so long, but you also see how little time you actually have.
Well, and I also want to stress the importance of if you are outside, because we just saw people in cars on the bridge and they got caught in it. So if you are outside, there are some ways that you can protect yourself. Definitely seek shelter. The last resort is go in a ditch or a low spot and cover yourself up if possible.
That's really, you're talking about last resort there. You're talking about folks that, you know, at the time you may not have been heeding the warning, if you will, or maybe you were on the road, you didn't know. Those kinds of things are the last thing you've got to get low.
Cover your head with your hands, that sort of thing.
Whatever you can do.
The Weather Service is definitely calling this an extremely dangerous and life-threatening situation here.
Yeah.
We saw it firsthand. We've both seen a lot of weather video over the years, and personally, I've never seen anything like that.
Yeah, well, not forming live on TV. I mean, I've seen that before in watching other people.
Watching other people.
You know, we're talking about Tornado Alley, Oklahoma. Those are the places that are built for this kind of thing. This is just so rare. I can't even stress to you how rare it is to see, because most of the time, we find out about it after.
And you don't have large bodies of water. I mean, this is right over the river pulling up that water.
Yeah.
And we didn't feel anything and we're just 100 feet away, which I also find really incredible.
Yeah, and I can't stress this enough either. That storm took 3 turns right in front of us. And most of the time, those tornadoes make their own roads, as we see, but a lot of times those own roads go right, you know.
Why is that?
It's just the way that it works inside the cloud. When you've got a vortex spinning around, sometimes you can catch a corner of the vortex, and then the whole tornado gets spun around a corner. So the tornado itself could take a corner, and other times it could just, well, in our case, it's probably luck.
I was surprised to see it coming back our way a little bit. I couldn't believe my eyes to see that.
Yes, and everybody underneath, everybody who was seeing, you were seeing it here, but the folks underneath it who were not watching, because thankfully, hopefully they were in the basements, damage. I mean, damage, crazy amount of damage. Yeah.
And the skies right here are just getting lighter.
Yeah.
It's been pretty dark out there for a while, but now
it is getting better. What I want to do is I want to go to the tower cam now, focus on the river, what it looks like right now. Okay, I want you to see what it looks like right now. You see how that's a lot more peaceful? Yes, it's humid, but now I want to show you what it looked like not too long ago in the same place, okay? We're talking about barely an hour ago, actually a little bit less than an hour ago. And when you see this video, what I want you to do is think about the folks just east of Palmer, okay, Brimfield, Wales, even in parts of Worcester County. This is what you need to be thinking, okay, when we tell you to get to the basement. This is evidence of what we've already seen. We were talking about it. When this was forming, we were talking about it as reporting from a tornado touchdown in Union Street in Westfield. And then a couple minutes later, here it is for us. You can see it sucking up the water. Jen, it's amazing.
It is amazing. And you've been calling this a long-lasting tornado. Is that correct? I mean,
you can see the water is getting sucked up over the bridge.
How long do you? It's certainly not over yet, but from Westfield to
That's
here,
the
that's
biggest
a few
tornado
minutes, and
I've
then it kept
seen.
on going.
That's actually my town. That's actually the town that I'm in. That I'm in that town right now. It's kind of creepy. Just pulling it straight up. And there was a bridge right there. I would have freaked out if I was on the bridge.
Okay, but we do need to
Completely
point out
freaked
the
out.
internal structure of this storm has been consistent.
Look at the water directly over
much of the
it.
way through. through. I would venture to guess that maybe it picked up somewhere just east of Springfield, but I would also venture to guess it came back down close to the Munson area, because it's very rare you have that kind of clear-cut textbook signature on Doppler and not actually have something, especially when we're staring at what we've already seen.
Right. And now we did see an 18-wheeler overturn on the Memorial Bridge. Do you have any estimates how strong wind could be to turn that over?
Yeah, well, in a way, okay, the tractor trailer trucks, they're very high profile, so that wind is like a sail, okay, that truck facing. So it may be able to be knocked down in 60, 70 mile an hour winds, but that is still a low-grade tornado classification. When they come out tomorrow, or they may actually be right on it tonight, because you don't let these things go too long, they're going to be estimating what kind of damage they've seen. And because of this long-lasting track, they could say, okay, this is EFO damage. We rate it in terms of the Fujita scale, and they've kind of enhanced in the last couple of years. And it goes from EFO to EF1 and all the way up to Class 5, which is such a rarity around here. But you could see the same tornado. They could say it was 0 here, 1 here, 2 there. We just won't know till later.
And I thought it was interesting when we talked to Justine on the phone. She said she didn't really hear anything. It was very quiet. And we didn't hear anything within the building. We are, behind windows, but I thought that was also sort of interesting. You know, that classical train, or maybe she was running.
But if you have that, I want to go to the Doppler too, full screen if we can, because the signature is also very intense right now showing. But when you're talking about the sound, a lot of times, the classic big storms will bring that sound all the way through, and sometimes the other storms will not. Okay, but when it's also going over water, the noise can also be apparent based on what it's sucking up, and a lot of sloshing water could be different. We still have our tornado warning. I want to point out this signature still pretty good. It may or may not be putting down a tornado right now, but I gotta stress that we have already seen plenty of indications of lots of bad weather with this. So you can have hail coming down over there toward the east and by Brimfield as well, just to the south.
Yeah, I know about hail
See the
that big in our
bad weather from
yard.
the south, but again,
That
do
big.
not bother
I
trying
will
to
go out
observe
and
this
show you,
if you
but
live in Holland,
I am
Brimfield,
not
Wales,
in my
all the
house
way to
right
the
now.
eastern parts of our viewing
This
area.
tornado
Now I know
dead.
you can see here on the map we cover a very large area, all the way out to North Adams, and yeah, they're getting a little piddly thunderstorm right now. But all you folks may be saying, you know what, I don't want to go back to my programming and that kind of thing. Well, we've already showed you, and everybody today has had a turn with this severe weather coverage, and it continues. We also have another storm up to the north that continues to be a dangerous situation. So we're going to be tracking them both here, as you can see. This little curl here, again, not as well defined, almost textbook down to the south, just tilted forward a little bit. Probably, no doubt, a lot of wind tilting those towers to the east a lot faster. But all these here, those are lightning strikes within the last couple of minutes. Very bad situation here. They're all cloud to ground, so we could get houses struck by lightning. We get power outages. Again, this particular situation is going to be evolving. Even after these two storms leave, now you've got flooding situations, power outages, trying to figure out who's where, and the hope is this storm is not as strong as it could have otherwise been. But we've already seen the evidence that there was a lot of bad news coming in today. So we're going to continue to follow both of these. What I want to do is track this one for you, show you where it's going, how long it's been there. 21 minutes in Spencer. So probably just kind of crossing the road a little bit, going past Rutland, and eventually it'll be over in Worcester County. Down to the south, this particular storm here continues. And again, you can kind of see that hook formation here. Almost looks like a little horn, but it's a classic view here of a tornado, or at least a tornadic forming storm. But this signature here is kind of showing you where it's going. And a lot of it is already past our viewing area, okay? It's moving toward the east, going toward Brookfield and Worcester.
I think that's a pretty bad tornado. It all happened in Massachusetts.
Almost
It's
after
only
the
been
heavy
like a
rain
couple
and
of
the hail.
tornadoes here
That's where your storm
before
is. So
that
if you're
have
going to be
even
sitting
like
here to the
turtle.
east, looking back to see where this thing is, you're not going to see it. It's going to be wrapped in rain because of all this moisture out ahead of it, all the hail. So you just want to take my word for it. We've shown you video time and time again. You know what can happen with this storm, and we've already showed this thing to you. And it's a very serious situation, which is